My dad had a chain of TV and appliance stores in Fairfield and New Haven counties in Connecticut. And I worked all the summertime in my youth and as a teenager in the stores in various positions, sales, warehousing, management, etc. And after graduating from college and working there in the summertime, the year was 1976, I noticed that the VCRs were becoming available by various Japanese manufacturers, primarily Sony with the SL7200 Betamax, and Quasar, which at that time was a division of Matsushita Denki, with the Quasar Time Machine. In those days, the VCRs were huge, huge apparatuses, and the retailers that were selling these products, or attempting to sell these products, really didn't know how to display them. They put these huge boxes on top of, for example, Magnavox Cherry console cabinets that typically would have a TV and a hi-fi set inside and speakers, and it looked very, very strange and odd. And when people would come into the stores and ask questions about, these VCRs, it looked bizarre. It looked like a giant clock radio. So it was very unnatural for TV and appliance salesmen at that time to sell such commoditized consumer electronic products. So I figured out that in order for the Japanese manufacturers to increase their business, gain market share in the United States, there would have to be a different path of distribution, if you will, and that would not be in the TV appliance stores in the United States. That would have to be in camera stores, which were typically located in the metropolis areas, New York, Chicago, Miami, San Francisco, Los Angeles, where there would be greater populations of ethnic groups that were used to doing business with cash and carry. And we're used to buying cameras and various small electronics like Walkman, etc. And the velocity of the consumer electronics sales there was just perfect for the VCRs and later the camcorders to be sold through these various types of camera retailers and catalogers. And what I did was make connections with these various retailers in these cities and successfully sell through these Panasonic and Sony products. Our mission is to delight our customers. That's our first and foremost mission, because without our customers, we're nothing. However, also we want to delight our manufacturers, our vendors. And so we have a business model that is a triangular model where we fit in the middle between the manufacturer and the retailer. Now, most of our customers and the plethora of our business is done through the big retailers in the United States, both the top 10 retailers, if you will, as well as their brick and click outfits, and regional retailers throughout the United States. And we are a liaison between the manufacturer and the customer, being the retailer, making sure that the forecast that they present to the manufacturer is accurate and that the sell-through is successful on a continual basis. And we build success upon success. Our focus is relentless, and we stay very true to our model, which basically speaks to we can't be all things to all people. So we have a very narrow focus as it relates to the brands that we carry, and in those brands that we carry, we make sure that we're very deep and wide in making available the entire family of products to our dealers, so that we're a one-stop shop for that specific brand. And in addition to that, we are able to have an edge over our competitors because our SG&A is considerably lower. We have a very limited head count of under 200 people doing in excess of $5 million per employee. So we're very lean and mean. And with a razor-like focus, staying true to your model and not going outside of that model, you can build upon the successes. New Age's goals are to grow from $1 billion to $5 billion within the next few years. I can't be specific as to exactly when that will happen, But I can tell you that with the convergence of IT products and consumer electronics and the miniaturization of products that are going more and more to the consumer in the home, and all these products speaking digitally together, that it won't be difficult to get to the $5 billion mark. And by doing that, we will also come back more towards our original group of products that we started in business with, and that is consumer electronics, by adding new vendors, but significant vendors that have great market share in retail in the United States. My goals are to make sure that the DNA of the company, the culture of the company stays intact, to make sure that I'm accessible to every employee in the company and they know me and I know them and I know their families and I have an open door, and to make sure that everybody pretty much is marching to the same goal. We make sure that our employees are very happy. We do various things that are different than other companies in the United States to make sure that people are challenged and that their loyalty stays with the company. The first thing that you have to do as an entrepreneur is to realize that failure is not an option. In fact, it's part of a continuum of a learning process that enables you to grow. So when you first start out in the business, obviously you have to find capital, you have to find a good team of employees that will be loyal and be diligent towards the work that they do and have integrity and honesty. And you make sure that the values that make up your character and who you are, infiltrate everything that you do in the business and touch everybody in the business, both the employees, your customers, and your vendors. And so starting the company is a very, very difficult thing, but you have to persevere. No matter what, you have to stay focused, stay true to your set of goals, both short-term and long-term, and always look to win. And when you do have a bump in the road, learn from your mistake, try not to repeat it. It's difficult because we're only human, but it's very important never to make the error of omission, never to let something go by, because if you do make the error of omission, your competition will pick up that piece of business and it may box you out of a new category of products. For example, cell phones, for example, the iPod, all new products that come through every 5 or 6 years, now even quicker. You have to make sure you stay in the game so that opportunity, you can grab that opportunity. And then as you build your business, as you build credibility, as you build better relationships with your customers by virtue of the fact that you're making them money, and by virtue of the fact that your vendors are being satisfied with the business that you're doing and you're achieving your quotas that they assess on you, and you're asking for more business, constantly asking for more business, then you have to learn how to run the business. And learning how to run the business sometimes is not the same as starting a business, because all those character traits, all that the sure willpower and being a bull in a china closet that the entrepreneur has success in starting the business sometimes can work against you in running a mature business and an operation where you have multiple departments. You have to become a fatherly figure and let go of the minutia and focusing on every aspect of the business, and let the people that you've empowered run the business for you. Yes, it was a challenge for me, but one thing that I did have was previous to this company that I have now, I had sold another company, and that gave me the ability to have instant credibility in the marketplace because A, I had the reputation with the vendors in a previous business, and B, I had the capital myself in order to establish the credit lines. So I would go, for example, and go to a bank and get a CD and pledge that CD as collateral with the bank to get a line of credit. Then I would use that line of credit at the bank to show stability and credibility with, for example, other banks or other types of commercial credit companies. And that would enable me to have an immediate presence in the marketplace, buy the inventory that we needed, and, and create a larger company. There are many, many challenges. You know, it's very difficult to focus in on one challenge. Going from a startup, and let's just use some numbers like $10 million or $20 million in revenue, and going to 400 or 500 or 600 or 700 million dollars in revenue creates a different tool set that you need. The skills that are needed to run a company, a multi-million dollar operation, are totally different than the skills that it takes to run a smaller company. So you have to be able to step outside of yourself and realize that your core competency is limited to the degree that in certain areas there are people that can do things better. And so you are only as good as the people that you have working for you, and these people will make or break you. So you have to enable them to be successful, let them make the error of commission, and let them learn along with yourself and build your business accordingly. Human resources, finance, and actually crisis management, those are all pretty good tools. That I have pretty good tools to accomplish the goals that are necessary to grow the company and keep the company stable. Crisis management is something that you learn through your life lessons, and this builds your character and enables you to react calmly and efficiently and solving problems. And what we're looking for always in business are the best solutions and the most efficient way to implement those solutions, irrespective of what the crisis could be, whether it's something that's a negative impact on your business or something that's phenomenally important to your business that you're going to have great success. It's the same type of tools that you use on any of these types of challenges. The beginning of my career was all based on sales. So, you know, I was a person that was very involved in sales and in building the business. But as I realized that I'd have to learn new skills in order to run the business and provide leadership to the company in other areas, I kind of walked away from the sales aspect of the company. So sometimes I'm a little bit detached from what our sales campaigns are. And it's funny, in my mentality, I always had the desire to understand exactly what new models were coming and what was going to replace what commodity in electronics, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm fairly removed from that today. Get up as early as possible in the morning, go to bed fairly early, and stay consistent so that you manage your time properly. And for example, in the morning it's very quiet, and you can put your thoughts and goals together, your short-term goals, reassess your long-term goals, make your phone calls that you need to make, send out your emails that you need to make, and get the day started early. Whatever you're reading, get that done. And then come in to work, wherever that may be, even if you're working from home, and have a schedule, a time schedule planned so that you accomplish the goals in an orderly fashion and get everything done so that towards the end of the day, you can open up your schedule for new items. That's really the exciting part of the business. What can we do today that's different than yesterday, that differentiates ourselves and gives us new challenges? That's where it's at in business. That's where the rubber meets the road and you affect change. You become either a disruptor in creating a new part of the business, or you have phenomenal change, creating absolutely all new areas of the business. I like face-to-face. I must see a person's face to make sure that they understand what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, and really what I'm looking for. Because the cues that we get as human beings are through our physical interaction as well as what we say verbally. And probably the most important thing you can do as an entrepreneur or anyone in business has to be to understand and really, really perfect the art of listening. Because you have to listen to what the person's saying verbally, and you have to listen to what they're saying with respect to their body language. Those are the cues that will enable you to get your point across and move on. I like to move my body forward, and I like to make sure that there's a certain amount of intensity when I'm communicating with someone, and I like to get them fired up and engaged immediately because, as you know, in sales, we only have a few seconds, whether you're on the telephone or you have someone ear personally, to get your point across and get them interested. So you must engage immediately with that person and spark their interest. So that and a smile is very, very important because you know, life is really meaningless without humor. The advantage that you have in life is to create your personality and show yourself with humor. And if you convey your thoughts and how you act with your associates with humor, people will pay attention to you. I relax by doing yoga, and I do that on a daily basis because I find that it is a very has a very calming effect and brings great clarity to my thinking. As you can imagine, in a world of commoditized electronics, things happen very quickly, and you have to remain calm, and you have to understand that there are always options and various solutions to bring about change and success. That being said, I also enjoy reading. I enjoy traveling immensely, learning about other cultures, and also enjoy collecting different types of things. I actually do yoga in my bedroom, or if I'm traveling, I can do yoga in the studio or in a hotel room. It requires a very small amount of space. Basically, what a 5-foot mat would be on the floor is all you need. And yoga is a beautiful way to have exercise and to clear your mind because in 1 hour you can completely replenish your body and replenish your mind and be ready for the day. Actually, no, I don't. I think that in my life, I've never really been the type of person that is drawn to reading management books or attending seminars. These things are a little bit put off for me because I don't like to cloud my thinking with other people's ideas. I like to stay very true to the evolution of my ideas in the company and try to revolutionize our business. I appreciate what other points of views are, and I do from time to time pick up books that are fascinating, but I usually don't implement other people's ideas. My role model was my father, who started a TV and appliance business, and it was a retail chain of stores in Connecticut. And he basically was a young man who came from a very financially poor background and worked himself up, put himself through university and got his degree. And after World War II, went into the TV and appliance business. And I learned a lot of what not to do by the School of Hard Knocks and training with my dad. And I also learned a lot about charisma and how you portray yourself and the person you want to be. And basically, there are no rules. The rules you make up as you go along. It depends on the individual. Clearly, we always look for very well-educated people. That being said, if someone comes out with an MBA and comes into our organization, which, as I explained, has a very, very limited head count, there's no place to hide. So unless you're a person that has certain qualities, not thin-skinned, able to take constructive criticism, be self-motivated, irrespective of what degree you have, even if you're a PhD, you're not going to be of much use to our organization at all. But also, if a person does have those qualities and he does have an MBA, there's tremendous amounts of contributions that it can make to our company. We've recently had a couple of new people join our company that have just a tremendous background in finance and other areas of the operation that we sorely needed, and they've made great contributions to our company. Outsourcing is part of our original model, which enables us to have a very low SG&A. And having the very lowest SG&A in the business means that you are prepared to take any business on that you want. For example, if you want to try a new category and get this new category or manufacturer into your account base, you can do it and work very, very thin in terms of your profit margins. So with a low SG&A, you can build different parts of your business. And having a low SG&A requires you to outsource. Outsourcing everything, with the exception of human resources. I like to keep that, since we do have a small employee base, I like to keep that in-house. It's a very nice touch and feel for the employees to know that we look after them that way. But other than that, we outsource absolutely everything that we can to lower or to keep our SG&A low and create better efficiencies in the organization. In the beginning, it was a little bit of a learning curve to understand how to do business with the Japanese management in various companies. And so I had to understand their culture, and I had to understand what were the important qualities that they were looking for in terms of partnership. And those qualities were qualities that we already had, values such as honor, loyalty, stick-to-itiveness, long-term vision, the ability to be patient and grow the business, and your word is your bond. These are the types of things that we had already, but we had to learn to back off a little bit and to turn no's into yeses. A lot of things that we do on a day-to-day basis are highly unusual because we see ourselves basically as a disruptor in the chain of supply chain management of consumer electronics and IT products in the United States. So it's very odd for one to think of, for example, selling remanufactured, what we call refurbished product, for example, printers, into a company like 99-cent only stores. I mean, usually you think that you go to a store like that and you're open to buy is $1. But quite frankly, we've had tremendous success in those types of stores such as Payless and Job Lots and these interesting areas of retail, these underbellies of communities, if you will, Hispanic markets, companies like La Curacao in Los Angeles, areas that have tremendous devotion in terms of their population, are excellent opportunities to make your mark in business and be a significant supplier, because a lot of companies don't have visibility to these types of retail outlets. It's very important to make your bed there. Survival is my proudest achievement. You can't stand on your achievements. I mean, achievements are great, and it's what keeps you going from success to success, from strength to strength. But, you know, that's yesterday's news. It's part of the fabric of who you are as you consider yourself a winner in business. You have to remain humble, hungry, and focused. And so the achievements are just part of a continuum of successes. And you're being challenged every day to stay true to your model, but also to change your model as the environment changes. Our economy changes, our customers change, our vendors change. You have to be able to adapt. So survival is the key, because if you survive, you're there for the next opportunity. I think I would have pretty much done the same things. I think that when I first sold my first business in 1985, I kind of took a sabbatical. I was very young at that point and had a young family, and I wanted to look at the world and understand different things in terms of the economics, of the marketplace, if you will. I learned about Wall Street, learned about trading stocks and commodities, and learned about different types of businesses. But at the end of the day, these were just things that were immediate gratification type items. These weren't things where you could have a long-term goal, a long-term plan that would be engaging you on a consistent 24/7 basis. And I needed that, and so that's why I created this new company, New Edge Electronics, in 1988, because I needed to be engaged on a daily basis and to be part of a company. I would say that you can't be an opportunist your entire life. American culture is very, very strange in business, and it's something that I really don't like at all. When you see these folks come out of grad school or even getting their bachelor's degrees, and they're looking for ways to build their CVs, if you will. I don't think that's being very true to yourself and giving yourself a chance. I mean, why go through a revolving door every couple of years to get a better job and to get more money and to create some type of legacy where you're building upon company after company? That's a big turnoff to me. I think that someone who has that level of success in education and a dedication to themselves should go to a company and think about a career in a company. Stay for a longer period of time, perhaps a lifetime. Grow organically through the organization and prove to your directors, your managers, or your higher levels of management that you're a person that really, really wants to make a contribution. We call it skin in the game. And that's where it's at for me. That's who we look for when we hire people in our company. Yeah, you reward people both financially, but more importantly than the finance part of it is you reward them with new jobs. You give them an opportunity to stretch out and create new tools and skill sets so that they can be successful in multitasking in different areas of the business. You know, people have a thirst and want to be sated by trying new things. And you have to give them the ability to grow. And you also have to thank them. You have to thank them for the job they do and try to do it every day. It's difficult sometimes in the middle of war, but you have to thank the people that got you where you are today.